Gil Martin here, and welcome everybody to today's episode of the Daily Packers Post, where we bring you in-depth videos on your Green Bay Packers every day. New videos drop Monday through Friday, so hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Today, we take a look at our final roster projections for the Packers' initial 53-man roster after the conclusion of the preseason. Packers winning 2 of their 3 exhibition games. That really doesn't matter anymore. Now it's up to GM Brian Gutekunst to put together the initial 53-man roster and a 15, maybe technically 16-man practice squad. And cuts have to be made by Tuesday, and after players pass through waivers, they can be signed to the practice squad. So we're going to break it down position by position and include as much information as we can. For quarterbacks, I see 2. It's Jordan Love and Malik Willis. They are locks. And then the question is, which quarterback ends up on the practice squad? I think Taylor Elgersma earns the spot over Sean Clifford because he has more potential upside down the road. And the third quarterback spot is more or less a developmental position. And I think Elgersma actually outplayed Clifford for the preseason, even though I think Clifford is probably more ready if he had to step into the lineup right now. At running back, there's a lot of talent here, but I still see only 3 players making the initial roster. That's going to be Josh Jacobs, Emmanuel Wilson, and Chris Brooks. Marshawn Lloyd probably starts on the IR with a designation to return. Remember, you can designate up to 2 players with a designation to return. He's got that hamstring injury he suffered against the Colts. And then I expect Amar Johnson and Israel Abanikanda to make the practice squad. Wide receiver, you've got 5 locks. I expect 6 players on the list. The locks are, obviously, you got Jaden Reed, Romeo Doubs, Dontavian Wicks, Matthew Golden, and Savion Williams. Christian Watson starts on the PUP list, which means he'll miss at least the first 4 games. And then it comes down to the 6th and final spot. I think Malik Heath edges out Mecole Hardman because Heath is the better blocker. Both can contribute on special teams, but I think Hardman misses out because A, he struggled during the preseason, and B, the Packers have other options for return specialists. I think Julian Hicks and Will Shepard likely make the practice squad. Tight end is interesting. The big question, will the team keep 3 or 4? We know Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave make the team, and they could be the best duo the Packers have had since Keith Jackson and Mark Chmura back in the mid-90s. But then, if they keep 3, Ben Sims and John Fitzpatrick have both played well, both contribute on special teams. I think both of them actually will make the initial roster. The offensive line is tough. You've got 7 spots that are set, and then you have a lot of question marks. It's Zach Tom, Rasheed Walker, Jordan Morgan, Aaron Banks, Sean Ryan, Elton Jenkins. And then, Anthony Belton, not going to start, but he's going to be on the roster. He's this year's second-round pick. So those are the big 7. I think Kadeem Telfort probably makes the roster because of his versatility. He could play 4 possible positions. Darian Kennard, who they just acquired on Sunday for a 6th-round pick in 2027, likely makes the team. Otherwise, I don't think they would have traded for him. And then I think Jacob Monk starts the season on IR after he got hurt in the last preseason game. Donovan Jennings, Lecitus Smith, and John Williams likely make the practice squad. At defensive end, I see 5 players making the roster. Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness, that's the starters. Barron Sorrell, Brenton Cox, and Kingsley Enagbare are in the rotation. Colin Oliver likely on the IR, and then Deslin Alexander and Aaron Mosby, the most likely practice squad candidates. Now, I've changed my outlook at defensive tackle. I think they'll keep 6. Kenny Clark, Devontae Wyatt, Carl Brooks, Colby Wooden, and then it's, we've been talking about the battle between 6th-round pick Warren Brinson and Nazir Stackhouse, the undrafted free agent. I think they'll find a way to have both of them make the roster. They have different skill sets, Stackhouse being the run stuffer, Brinson, the draft pick, and a guy with potential. I think they have all 6 on the roster. I'm looking at 5 running backs, linebackers, 5 linebackers, Quay Walker, Edrin Cooper, Isaiah McDuffie, they're locks. Tyron Hopper is close to a lock. He's certainly had a better year this year than last. Then it comes down to a battle between Christian Welch and Isaiah Simmons. Both players contribute on special teams, but I go with Welch if I had to pick one. He's more consistent. And, if one of them had to fill in on defense, I think Welch would be the wiser choice over Simmons. Simmons, more athletic, but less consistent. He's entering his 6th NFL season and still hasn't put it all together. You get the feeling he never really will, that he will be just a sort of fill-in guy and special teams guy. They might try to keep all 6, but I think that Welch makes the team over Simmons, although they could try to sneak Welch onto the practice squad and keep Simmons. We'll see. This is a tough decision. I still think it's Welch. Cornerback, I'm going with 5. Keyshawn Nixon, Nate Hobbs, Carrington Valentine. Those are the big 3. I love Bill Melton. He has done a great job of making the switch from wide receiver to cornerback, which is not an easy thing to do. I think he makes it. I think Kalen King has taken a big step forward in year 2. He makes it. Then I think there are 3 players on the practice squad: Kamal Haddon, Corey Ballantyne, and Micah Robinson. At safety, I see 5 players: Xavier McKinney, Evan Williams, Javon Bullard. Those are the obvious ones. Zane Anderson is a core special teamer, and Keaton Olagapo has looked good enough to make the team. Unfortunately, Omar Brown, who had a great start to camp, stood out at family night. He had a bad injury to his lungs against the Colts. He probably lands on IR. And then special teams, well, it's all easy. McManus is the kicker, Whelan the punter, Matt Orzek the long snapper, and then Mark McNamee will be the international player in their international player program. So he'll be on the practice squad with an exemption, and that would make the full 53. Let us know your opinion in the comments, but those are our 53-man projections. Check out our website at thepackerspost.com for in-depth articles on your Packers 6 days a week. Also, here on YouTube, hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss one of our episodes. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe. And, of course, go Pack Go.